Do you know you want to create content in your business, but you find yourself every single time sitting, staring at that blank screen, just overthinking everything and trying to decide what to actually create? Don't worry, you are not alone. I talk to people every single day about this, about trying to decide what to actually write, what to post about, what content to create, where to even get started. And today I'm going to share with you my best tips for just getting some content out there, just getting started and giving it a go. Hi, I'm Catherine and I support quiet, sensitive souls wanting to create introvert-friendly businesses through deep and meaningful content and connections. In my last few videos, I've been talking quite a bit about pillar content and why it's so useful in your business, not just as a business owner, getting your work out in front of more people, but specifically why it can be super helpful for more introverted people to share their expertise and work with the world, talk about their offers and call people in to take the next steps with them without feeling too salesy. And people always ask me, where should they start? So let's break it down a little bit. Now, obviously there's so many different kinds of content that you can create online, but when I talk about pillar content, I'm more specifically talking about things like blog posts, articles for your website or other sites, YouTube videos, podcast episodes, live streams, anything that's a longer form kind of content that really allows you to showcase your work and what it is that you talk about. It's foundational content that really connects with the people who resonate with your message and what you have to say, who are looking for solutions to their questions that you just happen to have, and can allow you to share your content, your expertise, what it is that you talk about in a deep and meaningful way to call in those right people and share with them what the next step is they can take with your work. And so often people ask me where they should start with creating content, and the reality is that you can start absolutely anywhere. There is no right or wrong answer to this question. Regardless of which format you choose, which platform you choose, I can guarantee you'll be able to find people who have had incredible success doing those things. The reality is it doesn't matter where you start. Think of your favorite YouTubers, podcasters, or bloggers, vloggers, whatever it might be, and I can guarantee you will be able to find people in your niche or people who are talking about and doing things that you're interested in and doing it in their own way. So here are my tips for just getting started. My first tip is to start where your strengths are. So if you love writing, then maybe blogging and writing short form content is really good for you. Maybe you love doing video and talking about your topic, and so you might find that YouTube videos, podcast episodes might be right for you. If you enjoy having deep and meaningful conversations and you just know that you shine best when you're holding space for somebody else to shine, then maybe doing interviews in some form are going to be the best place for you to get started. And it's not necessarily your strengths, it's actually what it is that you're excited to create, because you might not have ever done anything on video before. You've maybe never had a podcast. And so if you're interested in it, if you're excited by it, what's going to happen is you're going to start and you're going to learn so much along the way. And if all of those things feel too hard basket, if it feels like the learning curve is huge right now and you just don't have the time or energy, you might find that creating shorter form content on different social media platforms might be exactly right for you right now. Maybe it's trying out some little videos on Reels or TikTok. Maybe it is creating micro blogs on Facebook or Instagram posts. The reality is the format, the platform don't matter. What really matters is that you pick what feels right for you right now, what you're interested in, and where you know your strengths are, what's going to feel easy for you to do. At any point in time, you can take that content and do something else with it. If it's short form content, you can create it, flesh it out, and make it into longer form content. And if it's longer form content, you can always break it down and share it in lots of different ways across different platforms. I know people that have turned workshops into books, who have turned YouTube videos into smaller content on social media, who have turned Instagram posts into long form articles. The possibilities of what you can do with content once it exists in the world are completely endless and limited only by your imagination. My second tip, I've already actually said it, is to just actually start. You'll probably find that it is really uncomfortable at the start. You have no idea what you're doing. You're making it up as you go, and you look back at it and think, oh my gosh, this is not the best work I'm ever going to put out. It is never going to be perfect from the get-go. And the beautiful thing is, if you go back to any people who've been creating content for a significant amount of time online, you will see the progression, the evolution of their work, the quality of what they're putting out, the way that they've learned and grown and evolved over time. And that is such a special part of the journey that nobody should miss. And chances are it's not going to be the best to start with. You might not have all the fancy equipment yet. You might be trying things for the first time. You might find that you have never done anything like this before, and the learning curve is going to mean that it's going to take a little bit of time to get comfortable, to get used to doing things a certain way, to try new things and keep evolving and changing things over time. And in my experience, nobody can tell you any of these things. You have to learn by doing it. You could even buy a course. There are plenty out there about how to start a YouTube channel, how to start a podcast, how to post, or what you should post on Instagram. And the reality is that the content itself is going to require you to actually play around, try things, see what works for you, see what doesn't work, and then try again tomorrow or next week. It takes time to build skills and confidence regardless of what it is, especially if you've never done it before. As you get started, you'll get to see what works, you'll get feedback, you'll be able to share it with people, you'll be able to evaluate yourself, what you do differently next time, and then guess what? You get to do it all again the next week. Over time, you'll learn more about lighting, about equipment, about all the different things that you need. You'll be able to incrementally upgrade what you're doing. And then you'll find yourself being exactly like those YouTubers who started 5 or 6 years ago. And when you go back to their early stuff, the lighting is bad, the camera angles are bad, and everything. And within a few years, by keeping going, by trying new things, by evolving what they're doing, where they are now might be exactly where you want to be, but we can't bypass any of that. We need to start where we're at. My third tip is to keep it relevant. And that is not just relevant to your content and your offerings, but also relevant to the platform that you're creating on. And so you might find that longer form content is going to work really well on YouTube, but it's not necessarily going to work so well on places like Facebook and Instagram. Little side tip here, the best way to work out what the context is, what is going to be relevant to the platform you're creating on, is to actually spend time on that platform. See what's doing really well, see what seems to be really working and what you resonate with, and start to get a feel for the vibe of the platform and the audience and the people that are spending time there. I love to look at people who are in my niche or who are in my industry and what they're doing, but I also love to look at what other people are doing in completely different industries, completely different audiences, and what it is that I love about their content that I can maybe bring into or think about when creating my own content. Spend a bit of time researching, looking at what's going on, talking to people in comments, interacting, following along with people, because every single platform is about a community. At the end of the day, if it's social media, even on YouTube, the community building is such a massive part of it. And the way to do that is to actually just start engaging with other people's content as well as encouraging them to engage with yours. This is a really great way to get a feeling for the vibe of the platform and also just start to build that and engage in that community as well. With that in mind, I'm really focusing this year on building more of a community here on YouTube by showing up consistently and asking people to interact with me and engage with me in the comments. So I would love it if you're enjoying this video to give it a like, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed already, please just hit that little subscribe button. My fourth tip is to have a bit of a plan, even if it's just a loose one. And this is where I find that people really do start to get confused and in their head about creating content in the first place. The most important thing is to give your content a little bit of structure with a beginning, middle, and end, like you're writing or telling a story. Brainstorm some ideas around the title of your content, if it's a blog or a podcast episode or a YouTube video, and also the hook that will catch people's attention if that content is relevant for them. That's important across every platform, whether it's the start of a YouTube video, a blog post, or even a caption on Instagram. In amongst all the noise in the online world and people just being in that habit of scrolling, having something that really captures people's attention and gets them to stop scrolling is going to help you get more people looking at your content. So I like to start with that hook at the beginning and then having that call to action at the end, which tells people this is what you can do next if you'd like to, or this is what you can look at now, or this is the next step if you're ready for it. Once I've got my hook and my call to action ready to go, I think of 3 to 5 main points that I want to make in that piece of content. And the last tip is to create prompts, invitations, and other ways for people to engage throughout the content. This is particularly helpful if you're writing blog posts where you can refer to other articles or other posts that you've written, resources that you've created, or even in your videos, in stories, in live streams where you invite people to interact and engage with your content. For example, if you're enjoying this video, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you're really interested in taking your content to the next level this year, make sure you check out my ultimate guide to creating content that cuts through the noise. It is a huge blog post. It's about 7,500 words, but it gives you step-by-step instructions to really thinking about and being intentional about the content that you create so it's relevant to the people that you want to get in front of. So remember, when you're choosing a platform and a format that you want to create content on, that it's one that you actually really enjoy. Then it's about just getting started, knowing that it's not necessarily going to be the best work you ever create. And in fact, the start is actually most likely going to be the worst content that you create. But over time, you're going to get better. You're going to learn so much. Your confidence is going to grow. You're going to be able to evolve your tech and all of the different pieces that you use. You're going to learn so much. much. And one day you'll look back and you'll see this early work and see how far you've come. Keep your content relevant to your mission, your message, what it is that you are about and the work that you do, but also relevant to the platform that you're creating on. Give yourself a bit of a plan to make it easy to take the overwhelm out of it, and also to make sure that it's relevant and fits within your offers, your message, and your other content. And create natural prompts and invitations of people throughout to continue engaging and interacting with you. I know that it might feel like a lot, and if you are just starting out, there's so much learning and growing to do. It is so much a part of the process. Remember, this is a creative project. Your business itself, the content that you're creating, is all a human experience that is going to be messy. It is going to be evolving and ever changing. And you might find that you start something and in a few months you decide you actually don't enjoy doing it. And if you're not, you're an ever-changing, ever-evolving human, and you have full permission to go and do something else. No matter what you do, no matter how it goes, you're always going to have the skills that you learn while you're trying these new things out and giving it a go. And if you're still sitting here thinking, why should I create pillar content when I have so many other things to do, make sure you check out this video here. And if you're interested, I have a build your own content ecosystem playlist, which you can check out as well. And I'll see you in the next one.